Will say it was low on detail, but the question people also ask is, it's not a policy speech, it's just a new year, feel-good speech and all of that. But I feel it missed some critical points. I also hit the nail on some critical points. And only time will tell if this resonates with a lot of people.
All right.
Well, what time will tell, that is very clear, so this morning, is that the speech delivered this morning by the president is dated. It is too obvious that that speech was recorded before the president came to Lagos, because the speech is not contemporaneous enough. And that, I think, is in itself, a scandal. It shows gross indolence on the part of those people who manage the president. And I speak as a person who had gone through this process before. Now, you could see from that delivery that since the speech was recorded in Abuja, I imagine, that there have been developments in the country. A major development will be the killings on the Plateau. That was conspicuously absent in that speech. I said, well, the president maybe did not need to go. They are having sent a very powerful delegation. But today, speak to Nigerians on New Year Day and not reflect his awareness and understanding of the killings on the Plateau, and considering the fact that only yesterday, 5 more persons were murdered in Boko's local government area, just shows and confirms how dated that speech is. And I put it down to the indolence of his managers. Because wherever the president is, there's enough facility to update speeches, to change recordings. It's not as if it's a lengthy presentation. They could have updated the speech, do a fresh recording yesterday, and it will have been up to date. The other major omission is that on Saturday, the National Assembly of Nigeria passed the 2024 appropriation bill, although there are many problems with that, as analysts have pointed out. Specifically, Dr. Dele Shubowale, saying that that budget is dead on arrival, and that the only indications that you could pick out of it as a professional economist is scarcity, uncertainty, and chaos, and that 2024 will be a more difficult year for Nigerians. But the president could have piggybacked on the details of what the Senate did and also addressed that, because that's also something very fresh. But there was no reference to that in that speech. Now, to the details. The president said we voted for him because he promised us renewed hope, and that he's working hard at it and is committed to delivering on that. And he said a number of things that are important to him. Food scarcity, to address food scarcity, to address electricity supply, to address the refineries. Would the refineries work? There's no certainty in that regard. And maybe that's the uncertainty that Dele Shubowale is talking about. Now he's talking about food supply. What is the guarantee that you can have food supply if there is still insecurity in the country? The president says in that speech, in fact, that security in the country has improved. Now, how do you say that to Nigerians just less than a week after people were being killed almost on a daily basis in over 58 communities in Plateau? How does that provide a justification for the claim that you make? He said electricity supply. At a time when power generation, power supply, power distribution in Nigeria is in the dark alley of 4,000 megawatts for over 200 million people. So how is that improvement in power supply? The president also talked about his commitment to attracting foreign investment, FDI, at a time within the same week that the National Bureau of Statistics announced to us that capital importation to the country has fallen, and that 27 states of the Federation attracted zero importation of capital. And at a time where we've been told that companies are leaving Nigeria, P&G has left, Jumia may follow, ShopRite is following, other companies like that and leaving Nigeria in droves. Is this contradiction not clear to the president and the drafters of his message on New Year Day? However, he admitted that there is a lot of hardship in the country as a result of foreign exchange crisis and the removal of fuel subsidy. But the economists argue that fuel subsidy, in fact, has not been removed. That fuel subsidy, in fact, is returning. And that if care is not taken in 2024, fuel subsidy will return in full force. Now, the president then puts the responsibility on all of us. He said in that piece that we are joint heirs of the Commonwealth, and we also have a responsibility. Yes, we the people have a responsibility, but what we keep saying is that government cannot keep telling us to make sacrifice, and government is not listening. The conspicuous consumption that was demonstrated by way of the president going to the mosque to go and pray on Friday in Lagos, and he had a convoy that looked like he was going to war. Nobody goes to the mosque to go and wage war. They go there to pray to God, to seek the face of God. I mean, I've been part of a presidential convoys at home and abroad when I served in government. The convoy that I saw on that Friday just to go to mosque, I think that was unprecedented. And Lagos being the major political base of the president, you ask the question, what is he afraid of? So when it comes to us on New Year Day, and he says, we the people must make sacrifice because the country belongs to all of us. Well, our leaders showing that this country belongs to all of us, and they themselves are ready to make the necessary sacrifice. The other point that I find disturbing in the president's New Year message, and I hope they won't do it again, by paying attention to necessary details, is that it is full of, again, promises. 7 months after, it is promises. We will step up our plan. We will do this. We hope to do this. We hope to do that. I thought that the standard practice is the imitative declaration of achievements within 100 days. In that whole speech, on New Year Day, 7 months after, I think it's quite disturbing that the president could not point to concrete achievements of what his administration has been able to do. The only thing he pointed out, he said neither here nor there. He said we had a successful transition in 2023. Well, he can say that because he's the main beneficiary. I don't think that those who lost out in that process would be saying the same thing. And he says he will fight every obstacle in the way of business commitment. Okay, which obstacles is he going to fight, really? Is it the foreign exchange crisis? Is it the devaluation of the naira? Is it the lack of confidence and trust on the part of the Nigerian people? Is it the creeping pandemic of empty pockets that Nigerians are groaning under? The fact that they couldn't even have access ahead of the festive period to their money trapped in the banks. With banks in Nigeria now, I've never heard it, that banks will say they don't have money. But in Nigeria, this is the reality. Even the banks don't have money. Even the money that you have kept in the banks, they say they don't have it. So clearly, 2024 appears like it will be a very challenging year. I think we should leave the destination of promises upon promises. Nigerians want concrete action. And one missing element in that New Year message by the president is that there was no concrete policy element. We will do this. We will do this. This is what we have planned to do. Or New Year Day, this is a policy we have adopted to give us a sense of direction. We are still at the same point where we were 7 months ago. Promises, renewed hope. Well, hope is good, Christians will say, but concrete action, concrete measures, as Joe Ajero has argued, as Bishop Matthew Azankuka has argued, as Cardinal John Oyanekon, the Catholic Bishop Emeritus of Abuja, has argued, is what the Nigerian people need. And that's what they look forward to in 2024, Mr. President.
Well, for a first New Year's speech by Mr. President, unfortunately, it was quite lightweight. And the reason I've said that this morning is because the mandate on which the president ran and which he's continued as a mantra in his administration is that of renewed hope. And more than ever in Nigeria currently, the people need hope. In fact, one of the reasons why people still wake up and move around is because there's a glimmer of hope that things will be better, and the trust is on the leaders to ensure that things actually are better. And the responsibility of a leader is to deal in hope, is to sell hope, even beyond having the mantra of renewed hope. And therefore you'd imagine or expect that the president, who has chanted a number of times the renewed hope initiative, the renewed hope.
I want to wish all my subscribers, all my fans, all my followers a very big, thunderous, happy New Year 2024. Yeah, welcome to 2024 in Jesus' name. If you believe, why not say amen? Amen. Now, I don't come again, my people. This is my first video for the year 2024. I don't kind of land again, my brother. This kind of gist where I get today. Hold on, a bit more 10. Get that send be, my people. I hope we all listened to the New Year speech of Mr. President yesterday. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Jagaban of Lagos, the city boy of Lagos. But I do this small thing where I tell others, see, competence is different from being a Lagos boy. You are so powerful in Lagos, you rule in Lagos, doesn't mean that you will clearly say when you become Nigerian president. But that it's very clear that Tinubu cannot give what he doesn't have. And this is a continuation of a Buhari regime. You can see, they say what APC cannot do does not exist. You see what is happening. So, Mr. Tinubu has come under heavy criticism regarding his New Year message to Nigerians. You know, he omitted the critical happenings in Nigeria. He omitted the killings in Plateau State. He omitted the falling of Yakata of Nigerian Naira. He omitted it. The critics, analysts have said that his message lacks substance. His message is a lightweight. There's nothing to hold on. There's no policy direction. That Tinubu is still behaving as if he's still contesting the election. He's saying, I will do. People expected him to say, we have done this, we have done that, we have done this. Nothing of such, because APC is a total failure, as you can see what is happening in Nigeria. How the high cost of living, the worsening inflation, and everything that is happening in Nigeria. You can see by herself. When we are saying it during the election, the Abadorians, the Jagabans, they were calling people names. Any person that is saying anything contrary to their opinion, to their political belief, that person has become an enemy of Nigeria. You can see what is happening. But brother, no need to talk too much. Look, listen, watch by yourself. By the man, the seasoned broadcaster, by the person of Sir Mr. Ruben Abati, PhD. Abati was a farmer of Tinubu. All of you can attest to how he had been, defending the government of Tinubu. But now, Dr. Abati threw Tinubu government to the Tatars. He threw this into the dustbin. He said, what a mess. I don't need to talk too much to my people. I say just last time, listen by yourself and be the judge. Comment. Tell me what you feel about this thing. I'll be waiting for you in the comment section. As I do that, as I may, God bless you in Jesus' name. See you again in my next video. I say bye-bye.